In the wake of the global COVID-19 pandemic, the traditional approach to work has undergone a significant transformation. Before the outbreak, the office was the default workspace for most professionals. However, as a response to the crisis, working from home, also known as remote work or telecommuting, has become increasingly prevalent. This shift has not only altered our physical environment, but has also raised questions about the impact of remote working on team productivity. With this newfound expectation on ways of working in the corporate setting, it is crucial to delve into the ongoing debate surrounding the effects of remote work on team productivity and what is the better work arrangement? Would it be in person or remote? Let's kick off with mentioning three advantages of working remotely for employees. First is increased work-life balance. Reducing commuting time and providing flexibility in managing personal commitments alongside work responsibilities has allowed some semblance of work-life balance. A survey by OWL Labs reported 82% reduced stress levels due to flexible work arrangements. The second is higher job satisfaction, with 95% of remote workers considering remote work as a significant contributor to their overall job satisfaction. And finally, it would be the improvement of productivity. By eliminating office distractions and offering a more personalized work environment, this enhances productivity. Research showed that remote employees worked 1.4 more days per month compared to their office-based counterparts, resulting in an additional 16.8 days of productive work each year. With employees being more productive, satisfied, and balanced, this increases the sustainability of approaching work. This time, let's talk about how remote work benefits companies. First, we have cost savings. So employers can save an average of $11,000 per year for each employee who works remotely half the time, primarily through reduced office space expenses. The second is increased retention. Companies who offer a remote work experience has 25% lower employee turnover compared to those without remote work options. And this makes sense if we correlate it with higher job satisfaction. The third is around expanded talent pool. A study by Harvard Business School showed that the remote work helps reduce geographical constraints, enabling companies to attract and retain top talent. We are basically enabling the true globalization of the workforce because they can literally sit anywhere in the world. And finally, better employee engagement. According to Gallup's State of the American Workplace Report, remote workers who spend about 60 to 80% of their time working remotely have the highest levels of engagement. This also connects to the point around improved productivity. Basically, we've unlocked more time for people to engage.
Thank you, Athena. So everything has two-sided views to it. With the advantages mentioned by Athena, there's definitely some disadvantages to working from home as well. So let's see some of the disadvantages for working from home amongst the employees. Firstly, there is less effective work communication. A survey was actually done, and the respondents felt that they were actually deprived of social interactions with their colleagues. Although they do enjoy working from home to a certain extent, they also believe that there is a need for face-to-face meetings for more effective communications and decision-making. They also tend to feel more lethargic when working from home, as their physical movement was greatly reduced, since they now don't have to travel to work as probably part of their exercising for the day. Next, some also find that working from home is not as conducive as working from office. So for example, the endless availability of stationeries and printers in the office. They also do find it difficult to focus at home, and they realize that their work-home boundary was actually very often blurred, where they find themselves actually working longer hours at home. Then let's look at some disadvantages for companies. So first, companies will have to allocate special budget for their staff to purchase ergonomics office setups like tables and chairs for the long working hours at home. And this may actually lead to increased budget for the companies. Working from home may also result in lower performance despite the longer working hours, as they are not being monitored very, very closely as like an office. This may even lead to lower opportunities for career progression because the staff's reporting officers may not know what they have done or what they're doing while they're working at home. Then next, there is actually this lack of role demarcation, where employees may actually use this opportunity of working from home to do non-work related stuff, like going to the gym or just slacking off somewhere without letting the supervisors know. Lastly, there's actually a limited time control, which can either risk employees underperforming or being overexhausted at work. So all of which, right, if not well managed, may actually lead to a decline in the mental well-being. This may eventually lead to demoralization in the employees and may increase the turnover rate for the companies. It is undeniable that there are both advantages and disadvantages to the idea of working from home. So how does it affect team identification and team productivity? So I'll now pass the time to Rivka and Francis to bring you through the concepts that were learned in class.
To kick off this debate, I will walk through some key group dynamic concepts and how in-person work arrangements would be more favorable or effective. So the first one is social loafing and social facilitation. I would argue that in virtual teams, employees may deliberately choose to not finish their assigned share of work because of an often missing performance management system of leaders. And however, when in person, leaders are able to pick up those who are exhibiting signs of social loafing easier and thus engage them quicker. And the next point will be organizational identification and commitment. We would say that leaders are able to engage the team more effectively via face-to-face platforms, and it will be easier to captivate the attention and bring the information across to the employees. The next point would be teamwork and effectiveness. We believe that it is easier for the team to engage with each other and build rapport effectively when in person. However, this also means that there will be higher chance of conflicts too, which comes for the next slide, which I will be elaborating more. The next point that we have here is communication and decision making, whereby it is a lot more clearer and effective when engaging in an in-person conversation. It is also easier to engage in quick chats or brainstorming sessions, for example, in between the short free time that employees have at work. Studies recently revealed that people are not ready to give up face-to-face communication and transit entirely to the virtual world. So that makes a point where actually in-person communication and conversation is still important in person. And the other point that we have talked about was about conflict resolution. So it is definitely easier actually to resolve conflicts when meeting in person, as communication is delivered in an effective manner as well. And when it comes to management styles, leaders will not have to tune to a new management style. Why? Because in order to reach out to the team, as leaders can do it directly in person, because it's easier and more effective to reach out to a larger mass when doing it in person. Rounding up the strength of in-person work arrangements would be the rapport and in-person interaction and depth of relationship as a result of being able to meet up in person, which is something that cannot be replicated by a virtual experience. So we also have power and influence here, whereby leaders may feel more in control as they have full overview of their employees' productivity. They are also able to influence the employees more as compared to the work from home. We also have another point, which is the group mobilization. There may be indeed higher group mobilization due to a stronger sense of social identity when the employees interact in person. And finally, we have gender inequality. What we can say here is that there may be less discrimination for women, especially for those who have children, as they will be able to focus better when they are office. So the downside of working from home would be that Xiao et al. 2021 study stated that working from home may be more challenging and it's more challenging for women because they tend to be more responsible for the household chores and other home activities. Thus, when they are in office or in person, they would feel less responsible in terms of the work arrangements and the caregiving needs for the women as compared to working from home. So that's all the points that we have for the in-person work arrangement. And next we'll move on to the work from home arrangements, which will be elaborated further by Francis. Thank you.
Thank you, Rivka. However, as opposed to what Rivka mentioned earlier, here are the key strengths of the work from home approach and why it should be the preferred work arrangements. In terms of the key group dynamic concept, social loafing and social facilitations, Aromi et al. Share that work from home reduce social loafing because remote workers feel more accountable for their work and they know their contributions are visible and directly linked to their performance. Also, people work harder and participate more in group tasks, improving social facilitations. So, under the concept of organizational identifications and commitment, work from home increases work-life balances, autonomy, and empowerment, which improve job satisfaction in work from home settings. Therefore, job certified employees are more likely to identify with and commit to the organization, cited by Chiu and Ng. Under the concept of teamwork and team effectiveness, Dietrich and Mesmer-Magnus share that work from home improve communications and collaborations between team members when using digital communication tools and platforms. Furthermore, work from home increase flexibility and adaptability, which contribute to effective teamwork and team effectiveness. So under the concept of communications and decision makings, digital platforms can help work from home teams share information and contribute ideas and opinions on the digital platforms at their own flexibilities, sharing documents, data, and insights, fostering communications and collaborations, and improving decision making, cited by Turbans et al. Work from home also reduces hierarchical barriers and promotes open and inclusive communication and decision making, allowing remote employees feel more comfortable in voicing their opinions. Under the concept of conflict resolutions, Carozzo, Todaro et al. Discuss work team reorganizations and work from home adaptations during the COVID-19 pandemic. Their research indicated that online meetings and interactions help solve problems and find opportunities, which suggests that effective remote work communication and collaboration facilitates conflict resolutions. Under the concept of management styles, Grant et al. Examined work from home employees' psychological factors affecting job performance, well-being, and work-life balance. Building trust and a supportive management style may affect these outcomes and suggest that trust-based management style can positively impact work from home employees' productivity and well-being. So next, under the concept of power and influence, under work from home, digital communications developed stronger collaborations and communication skills, enabling the redistributions of power and influence within a group, allowing individuals to easily exert power and influence to effectively convey ideas, gain support, and influence decisions. Cited by Awada et al. Under the concept of group mobilization, the flexibility in work from home allow group mobilization have more control over the work location and schedules, which can lead to job satisfaction, work-life balance, and enhanced productivity, which contribute to higher level of employee engagement and motivations, cited by Obradovic et al. Under the concept of gender inequality, Allen et al. Found that work from home can reduce gender inequality by offering telecommunicating and work facilities, enabling women to effectively balance work and personal responsibilities, potentially reducing gender inequalities. So now the question is, which work arrangement is better? Should work be fully in person, or should there be flexibility to be allowed to work from home? And our answer is the winner is hybrid. So both Rika and myself have made a very strong arguments for both in-person and work from home, and combining the strengths of both the in-person and work from home into flexible work arrangements. Therefore, there are clear advantages to keeping flexible work arrangements, and it allows to building rapport in person, appeals to the team identity and social influence, and also it creates a working environment which enough clarity that allows remote and in-person activity that will best benefit all teams. So overall, research from Angelique C and Profeta have showcased that flexible work arrangement increases productivity of workers, improves well-being and work-life balance. Now we have come to the end of our presentation. Thank you. The following are the academic reference for this assignment.